Good afternoon from southern Indiana. Nice day out here today, sunny. It's a little warm, but the humidity's low, and of course here in Indiana we appreciate the days when the humidity is down. It's a lot more tolerable to be out. I'm here in Jasper, Indiana, at the Jasper Rifle and Gun Club, and today I'm shooting my 1861 Springfield rifled musket. I've been a bit of a fan of the Civil War and Civil War era weapons since I was a kid, and I've been fascinated by that era and its impact on our country's history and the world history. And there were some things that were unique to that history that changed modern warfare all the way around. And this rifle was the piece of technology at the time that had brought some advancement out onto the battlefield for infantry soldiers, even though the style of fighting at the time had not changed much for a century. The weaponry did, which resulted in a really high casualty rate, one of the highest in the world up to that point. But one of the most significant things is the rifling in the musket. 1861 by Springfield. The rifling in it allowed for a greater accuracy with a spin on the bullet that was shot out of it. But on top of that, probably the most significant thing was the development of the mini ball, or the Minié ball, which was developed by a Frenchman. It was used extensively in the American Civil War and the Crimean War. Along with the rifling, this bullet was designed to expand on pressure, which expanded the round, and the accuracy is really remarkable to me for that era. I've been surprised by how accurate this weapon can be. If there's any inaccuracy to it at all, it's because of the way I shoot it. But the mini ball is a conical shaped ball. It has grooves in it, and the grooves held a lubricant to help with the stability and add to the spin going down the barrel. And at the bottom is a well, and this well under pressure allowed the round to expand. And when it hit its target, you were looking at, this weapon is a 58 caliber, and you were looking at a shot that was significantly round. If you were hit by one, in most cases, the injury was extremely severe if you survived at all. But the Civil War soldier, these were the most common issued weapon during the Civil War. There were over 1 million produced and issued, primarily Union soldiers in the North. And Confederate soldiers often picked them up out on the battlefield and used them as well. But the Confederacy also had the Enfield rifle, which shot a mini ball identical to this, or closely identical to it, and the Enfield was rifled as well. So it evened out the playing field, and again, it increased the battlefield casualties. But the Civil War soldier had his equipment and was issued the rifle along with a bayonet, and the mini ball was issued in a paper cartridge. It was a preloaded paper cartridge with gunpowder and a lubed mini ball in it. And when they went to fire one, they pulled one out of their ammo box, which many of them wore. It was a paper cartridge. They would just tear the cartridge with their teeth, and then they would pour the powder into the barrel. And then inside the cartridge was a prelude mini ball. And the ball was slit, fit generally easily into the barrel. You had a rod. The soldier would take the rod and push the ball down and pack it well into the bottom of the barrel, into the breech, or into the well. Return the wad, and then the weapon would be, or would be placed at half cock, and that's where the term half cock comes from. Not going off half cock, because the weapon wouldn't fire at half cock. The weapon's about 56 inches long with a 41-inch barrel, I believe. Also, the soldier carried a cartridge box, not just the cartridge box, but he also had a cap box that had percussion caps in it to be loaded into the weapon. Percussion cap, and you would load it on there half cock, and when you had now you were ready to fire. Now the weapon weighed about 10 pounds, close to 10 pounds, so imagine having to carry this for hundreds of miles out on the battlefield. And remember, when you were loading this, the average Civil War soldier, a proficient soldier, could fire 3 rounds a minute, could go through this process 3 times in a minute for a sustained rate of fire over the number of troops that were on the field at the time. There were a lot of different ways in the infantry dynamics that they would fire to get that sustained rate of fire of bullets downfield. But typically, a lot of soldiers were kind of on their own when the chaos of the battlefield. I have targets set up at 25 and 50 yards. I sighted it in around 25 yards. I'm going to go ahead and take a shot and try to see if I can hit my target there at the 50-yard mark. When they fired, it went to full cock. And very powerful weapon. A lot of fun to shoot. I've enjoyed it. It's been it's one of my favorite weapons that I've ever shot, even through the military. Mainly because it's just kind of surprising as to how accurate it is, along with the history with it, and learning how to fire it all together. So that's my demonstration on this. I like historical weapons. I have others that I have purchased and will fire, and I'll make some subsequent videos. I'm a bit of a novice at this. I've had to learn. I've had a friend of mine who is into this type of weaponry long before me, and I've learned a lot from him as well. But anyway, thanks.